What up? Thanks for clicking. I'm Alex. It's likely that you clicked on this video because you need some help on getting better in your career in IT or tech. I got you. Let's get into it. So, this is part one of three of my top three soft skills to master in tech series, designed to convey why the skill is so important and why you need to get good at it to progress further. So, I present to you the importance of communication in IT or cyber, software, etc. The first soft skill we're going to be covering is obviously communication and why it's crucial to improve upon not only for your career in tech but for your personal life as well. Um, so we're starting with this because I generally see folks fall into one of two buckets. Bucket one is the tech wizard. These people are the stereotypical IT gods that you think of. They're masters of their technical craft, and you can count on these folk to get the problem solved. However, I've noticed that sometimes these people can be hard to get a hold of, hard to communicate with, and can sometimes let themselves get taken advantage of. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we have someone what I like to call the user whisperer. These are generally more entry level roles or folks. Think of people like help desk or desktop support. This is not a bad thing. These people generally thrive in phone support or helping on basic troubleshooting tasks. While usually adept at talking to users, these people may struggle with speaking up for themselves, asking for opportunities to grow, or being confident enough to climb the ladder. Um, so, hopefully, this video teaches you how to become the IT Chad unicorn. This person is the best of both worlds. Known for being dependable and getting shit done, these people can handle any problem the job throws at them. They know who to ask for help, how to ask for help, and aren't afraid of speaking their mind. These people are adaptable beacons of change. In my opinion, this is what you should try to be like to maximize your opportunity and fun on the job. One who is a master of communication will be one who is thought of more just due to them always being there. You will never really be ignored if you decide to use your voice. When you make your voice heard and known, you'll automatically stand out compared to teammates that are more passive. This translates into our first point, which is visibility. If you're not using your voice in meetings, calls, etc., you'll be a ghost, and that's not what you want to be. I've seen this play out firsthand. It's easy to think. Two techs are on the same team, doing similar work and of a similar skill level. One of them speaks up in meetings, asks questions, gives updates without being asked, and the other keeps their head down and just does the work day in and day out. When a promotion opened up, guess who got it? It wasn't the quiet one. Not because they were worse at the job, but because leadership literally forgot about them when the opportunity came up. You cannot assume your work speaks for itself. You have to speak for your work and sell yourself. Moving on, the second part of communication in IT is being the technical translator. These are the people that can convey complex issues in a way that all hearing can understand. This has many levels to it in and of itself, but these people are primarily most important because they are able to mix the business needs and the technical with everyone on the same page. They essentially are the bridge between the tech and the biz. This is crucial for talking with management, especially. Um, let's say we have an organization that uses AD where the roles are improperly configured. Maybe said org doesn't have enough staff to fix this with current manpower. Instead of saying, boss man, we can't fix the access controls because we don't have the manpower, it's too much work. As you can see, that's not a great example. It doesn't really tell the business or the manager anything in a legible and non-IT way. Instead, you want to say something like this. Hey, big dog, interns can see that you're spending company resources on OnlyFans, and interns can also see everyone else's social security numbers. We need more bodies to fix it, or else it's going to be a huge problem. This is so important because it makes the problem understandable in a human and a business way that conveys actual business risk and not just technical jargon. Also, sometimes even your technical teammates don't really understand things fully, so it's beneficial for you to try to translate in a way to make them get it as well. When you can make the talk understandable for people at all levels, it's immense knowledge as well. If you can teach it even at the most basic of levels, it shows you have an immense understanding yourself, and you should take pride in that. Another area the technical translator thrives in is step 3 or point 3, which is documentation. These people have the technical skill needed to pioneer and figure out a new software process and whatever else, and then take those findings and document them so that someone with less skill can replicate it by following a SOP. Now, documentation is commonly an afterthought at a lot of places because it's boring, time consuming, and some people have this mindset of, if I document everything, they won't need me anymore. I'm teaching them to replace me. I'm coming in hot for this one. To me, that last point is a disgusting way to think. And I'm going to be blunt with you. If that's you, you need to stop being a fucking loser. If you think that hoarding knowledge is going to save your job, I need you to really, really think about it. From a management perspective, who do you think they want to keep around? The person who shares knowledge, makes the team better, and helps the business run smoother, or the person known for gatekeeping information and being difficult to work with? It's not even close, at least for me. And here's the thing, it's 2025, big dog. We all have access to Google, ChatGPT, Reddit, YouTube, whatever. That information you think you're hoarding, someone's going to find it eventually. You're not as irreplaceable as you think. What actually makes you valuable is being the person who figures things out and makes everyone around them better. I think knowledge should be available for all, and you should adopt that mindset as well. When teams know how to do things together, the business thrives. So, for SOPs, you're going to want to make it a priority right here. And I have a little hack for you to maybe make it easier. Document all of your troubleshooting steps in your ticket notes. For one, they can be referenced for future events or for easy SOP creation if a similar problem comes up. And two, it covers your own ass in case anything goes wrong, like an audit or a complaining user, whatever. So covering your own ass. And when you're creating SOPs, know your audience, but do not skip steps, even the things that feel obvious to you. What's obvious to you isn't obvious to someone newer or at a varying different of technical skill level, whatever. Cater the docs appropriately. Technical docs for technical people and simplified versions for end users. When your documentation is on point, teamwork becomes easier. People can ask clear questions about specific parts of the documentation that you've written, and troubleshooting becomes more simple. This is a perfect segue into teamwork being another thing that benefits greatly from improving your communication as well. You ask better questions, you're more informed, and you know whose skills are best for what. When you're excellent at communicating, people will want to work with you because it's genuinely fun and easy. No one likes to be working with people that are hard to get a hold of or difficult to talk to, especially assholes. Don't be a fat ass. It also helps with being resourceful. Let's say you're working on a ticket that you just cannot figure out. You've tried all the SOPs, scanned all the 2013 Reddit threads, and still do not have any idea where to go for it. When you're resourceful, you remember that your engineer is great at this particular tech that you're struggling with. So you reach out to them with a documented process of what you did and a specific question. The engineer will be happy you put everything into the chat and will be way more likely to help out because, one, you brought them all the information that you've worked through, and two, they know that you're a rock star to work with because you've implemented everything we've talked about so far. Subscribe now. But with teamwork, there's a couple other things that come up as well. I like to call this segment written communication, or type versus calling. Now let's talk about it. I mean, half of your conversations aren't really happening on a call, right? They're happening in Slack, Teams, emails, ticket notes, and the rules there are a little different. I think first of all, you should know when to type and when to call. If you're going back and forth more than 3 times on something, just hop on a call. I think it's easier for everyone. I know it can be a little overwhelming or intimidating, but just do it. You know it'll be quicker. Second, tone gets lost on type a lot. What you think sounds professional might come off as cold or even passive aggressive. A quick hey or thanks can go a long way. And thirdly, structure matters. If you're sending a wall of text, nobody's reading it. Use line breaks, bullet points when needed, and put the ask or the important info at the top. Don't make people dig for what you need. Also, a quick little bonus tip, proofread anything that goes out to leadership or end users. Typos and sloppy messages make you look like shit and make you look unprofessional. And then the last part of teamwork that I think needs to be touched upon is bad news and how to communicate that. Um, projects get delayed. Outages happen. Sometimes you just don't know the answer to the problem either. And this is where a lot of people freeze up or try to hide. Don't do that. The way you communicate bad news matters more than the news itself. Be direct, be honest, and humble. And come with context. Don't just say the server's down. Say, the server went down at 2 p.m. and we've identified the issue. And here's our timeline to fix it. If you don't know something, say, I don't have that answer yet, but I'm looking into it and will update you by the end of the day. People can handle bad news. What they can't handle is being blindsided or feeling like you're hiding something. Owning the problem and communicating clearly actually builds more trust than if nothing went wrong in the first place. Don't leave them questioning anything. Speaking of questions, our next point is how to ask questions. In IT, I think there's almost a formula to asking great ones. We all know being inquisitive is given in the IT space, but how do we utilize that in the best way? Being incredibly thorough with your questions will be amazing for anyone or any AI, search engine, Reddit post you decide to ask. Whew. In IT, there are many things that overlap, and sometimes things can get blurry or confusing. So when you make things specific and directed towards a certain outcome, the likelihood of you finding an answer skyrocket. I'm sure we've all been there, training a new hire on how to do something basic like creating a new user account. They'll come to you with something like this, or a question like this. Hey man, this dumb account isn't saving. Can you help? To me, that reads like, I don't know what's going on. I've tried nothing to solve the problem on my own. Can you please figure it out for me so I don't have to hurt my poor little brain? It's not great because their question can mean so many different things. It's understandable if you're somewhat new, but what it clearly lacks is effort and empathy, in my opinion. You know that the person you're asking is busy as well, right? So why not make the question as convenient as possible for them to answer? It'll save you both time. This is what I think the question should look like instead. Hey bro, I've inputted all the user info into the script. When I press the final enter on step 17 of the SOP, I get the attached error screenshot and the SOP says the account should get created after this. Is there anything I'm missing? As you can see, this is so much more helpful and saves needless follow-up questions from whoever you're asking the question to. And again, it shows effort and makes it easy to work with you. Your question is clear and contains everything you've tried and contains repeatable steps to work through during troubleshooting. Essentially, document your ticket and the problem that you're working through in your question and ask that question when you're stuck. And then, of all the people you'll be asking questions to, a frequent one will likely be your manager. A common thing I see IT managers do is what are simply called check-ins. These could be performance reviews, weekly stand-ups, or whatever else you like to call them. As the tech or engineer or, individual contributor, you will essentially want to have things prepared to share with your manager to make it easy for them to keep tabs on what you're doing and how the business is being affected by you. Keep a little log, or what I like to call a brag doc, of all the tasks you've done, the projects you've worked on, any questions you have, and anything else significant that you can think of. In these, you really just want to sell, or in these check ins, you really just want to sell your efforts and be sure your manager knows what you have going on. Bonus points if you can shoot the shit with them for a while. On all of my one on one check ins I would have with my manager, we would maybe spend 1 to 5 minutes on talking about things actually related to the job. It would just be essentially me and dude talking about life and having fun. This is good for brownie points. But in addition to bringing things up and having your brag doc, you'll also want to be proactive outside of these set one-on-one meetings as well. If you hear something important, relay that to your boss right away. Did you or your team just hit a big goal worthy of praise? Let them know quickly. Did a breach occur? You get my point. Having a healthy relationship with your boss will prove to be fruitful no matter where you are. I know a lot of bosses aren't amazing, but this might require a little adaptation on your part, especially if they suck to work with. So you sort of have to cater it to them to survive and be better. I know it'll be hard, but I think you got this. So on the other side of things, if you're the person doing the check-ins or the manager, you're going to have to be managing down. I think at the very least, you should make it known to you that you want the aforementioned things, like the brag docs and stuff, brought up. Tell your team to own and tell you about their wins. Excuse me. You should make the team feel comfortable and safe and open for your team to tell them what they've done or any problems they have that you can address. As a leader, you should promote openness, teamwork, and encourage them. Since all of your team is a representation of yourself to everyone else looking inward, be prideful and hold them to a standard that feels empowering but attainable. Be clear and direct with the goals and metrics you want hit and support them along the way however you can. Also, don't be afraid to have hard conversations either. Sometimes they're needed to make the team better. At the end of the day, a superstar team without a clear direction will just lead to a bunch of burned out rock stars. So do everything in your power to sail the ship accordingly. And if you're in middle management, being able to convey what your manager said to your team is also just as important. You have to be a master of translating business needs and wants to their technical counterparts and vice versa. Also, please learn how to regulate your emotions. If your boss is yelling at you, don't be a man-child and take what they did to you out on your team. We're all adults here, and it's never really that deep. As a manager, you'll likely have to be responsible or the lead of various projects, which is our 8th point. When you are a lead on a project, communication is extremely important, so things get done properly and on time. It all comes down to no ambiguity. If the details of said project are not clear to you as the lead at first, you must keep questioning whoever is telling you until the entire scope is clear and defined. Identify anyone who needs to help you and convey their exact mission for the project. Leave nothing for interpretation, no ambiguity. Yes, things, issues, questions, and bullshit will arise. That's IT. It's normal. However, both you and your team should not be confused about every step of the process in the project. You as the lead need to be a beacon of communication and ensure that the needs of your peers are met first and the needs of the business are being met secondly. For large-scale projects, let me get out my pen here. For large-scale projects, organization and communication equals the best outcomes. Wow, beautiful handwriting I got. So yeah, essentially define everything and take care of your team along the way, for projects at least. And then speaking of taking care of your team, try to show real and genuine gratitude whenever you can on the job. Did your engineer or someone above you take 10 minutes to show you a quick fix? Make sure you say thanks and remember what he taught you so you don't have to bother him again in the future. Fuck it. Make an SOP about it. Your boss, so they never have to talk about it again. Did your boss approve your 2 week vacation within 3 days of notice? Send them an edible arrangement or a postcard or something. You get my point. People love to be seen for their efforts, and I know you do too. So take the extra 30 seconds it takes to show people that you appreciate their efforts. Even for the little things, it goes a real long way. Like, I remember in my last job where I kind of felt like just a cog in the machine. Whenever I would receive like really nice emails from users or other people, man, it would really just cheer me up and make me actually want to keep working for the day. But you can also use gratitude as a secreted advantage as well. Like, let's say you notice someone do an out of character thing that's productive and makes your life easier. Example, take a tech that usually doesn't fill out the ticket with complete steps like we mentioned before. But for some reason, this time he makes it beautiful. Maybe he watched my video. Praise them for it so they keep doing it. It's like Pavlov's dogs. Uh, and gratitude is a form of self expression, which is our final area of discussion in communication. Being someone who's great at and not afraid of expressing themselves will likely be able to forge ahead even more. These people are not afraid to speak up when they don't understand something. When they see mistreatment, when they see something that could be fixed, they're beacons of change that highlight areas that need to be addressed. It also shows that you have a backbone. If you're being too overwhelmed, you cannot be afraid to set boundaries in the professional setting. Sure, some scummy sort will look down upon you for this, but they'll either look for another target if you set the boundaries, or God forbid, they have to do the work themselves. You're responsible for your life, and it's important that you make yourself stand out so you're considered for more opportunities. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I've got for you on communication. If any of this resonated with you, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, drop a like on this video, and leave a comment letting me know if anything hit home for you, if you didn't like it, if you think I missed anything. I'll try to read all of them. And if you're an IT manager watching this, I'd love to connect. I want to start training teams on this kind of thing, and I think I could bring some value to your teaching and your team. So hit me up. My business email is in the link below. And yeah, until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and I'll catch you on the next one. I love you.